listening as well. We'll catch you next week on Breaking the Norm.
Listen up, guys. I get it. Shopping might not feel like a day at the ballpark, but if you're looking to hit one out of the ballpark with the woman in your life, here's the play. Send her, or better yet, take her to Lola Mae's Boutique in Blue Springs, Missouri. It's a total win. She'll find stylish clothes, shoes, accessories, you name it. Whether her style is cozy casual or she's always on trend, Lola Mae's has her covered. And guys, Melissa, the owner, she knows the shopping game. She made sure there's a comfy couch just for us to ride it out while our ladies do their thing. So if you're ready...
All right, boys, let's have a good show. You got a legal ID, and then you're going to hear some music.
Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 6, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. It's 1414 US 40 Highway in Blue Springs, and tell them Les sent you.
KCFX HD4 Harrisonville, K279BI Kansas City, 103.7 FM. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
America's largest all-sports radio station presents the #1 motorsports show for over 2 decades, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. We got a great show lined up for you today. Matt Covington and Chase Rodman is going to be on the show.
And Chase Briscoe, another Chase, who I got an interview with at the Jack Stack Barbecue in downtown Kansas City the other day. They were there to announce that Jack Stack Barbecue is going to be a Victory Lane partner with Kansas Speedway, which means they're going to not only serve the barbecue in the spring race, but both races, both the spring and the fall, and it's going to be courtesy of Jack Stack Barbecue. So we were down there for a big media gathering to announce that, and Chase Briscoe was there, and there's probably not a more hot driver in NASCAR right now than Chase Briscoe, wouldn't you say? He's got a first and a second place finish so far in the playoffs. He won the Southern 500 a couple of weeks ago, finished second to his teammate Denny Hamlin at St. Louis. So
that's a pretty big deal, a first and a second place finish.
Yeah, this Briscoe has got it going on right now. There's no question about that. He finished fourth in the spring out here at Kansas Speedway, so I look for him to be a
Pat
big
Warren
player.
was out there, wasn't he?
He was. Pat was there, and along with some of the big wigs of Jack Stack Barbecue, and hung around and ate some Jack Stack barbecue. I love Jack Stack Barbecue, by the way. They call it Fiorella's Jack Stack Barbecue, one of the great barbecue places in Kansas City.
Was it good?
It was great.
Was the food good?
It was fantastic. So
I'm sorry I didn't go down there with you, Kurt.
You were tied up, had something else going on, but we were there to get it covered for Sports Radio 810 and the Racing Boys. We're trying to get Pat Warren on the show next week, talk about, we're just 2 weeks away from the NASCAR weekend out here, guys. Can you believe it? Seems like just yesterday we were out there in the spring on Mother's Day, and here we are ready to do it again out here. They've got the NASCAR Cup Series, the Hollywood Casino 400, and the Xfinity Series, got the ARCA Menard Series back at Kansas Speedway coming up in a couple of weeks. I hope this kind of weather holds out till then. So it's back to summertime, isn't it?
Kirk, I'd love to run the ARCA Series again.
You did run the ARCA Series.
I qualified 11th my first time out.
That's what you're always good at, qualifying the car.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you were best at, getting yourself a good starting spot.
Hey.
Then you put some drivers behind the wheel of the car, like Clint Boyer.
Right.
And but you had your own turn out there at Kansas Speedway on the old surface, right? Did you ever race on the newly paved track? It was before they repaved the track about 10 years ago.
Right.
You were out there. So it's a lot different racetrack. I think a lot better racetrack at Kansas Speedway since they put the progressive banking in. And this new race car, this next-gen race car that they've been using now for a few years seems to fit in with these mile-and-a-half racetracks. We've seen some great races out here. So we'll look forward to that. Coming up in a couple of weeks tonight, they're at Bristol, the night race at Bristol, which you've attended many times. I've only been there once. That was in 04 when Dale Jr. won. It was the only night race I attended, and that was back in the day when they put 160,000 people in the stands and had a waiting list.
I went there with Chuck Cremidall many a time.
You did. You
Yep.
saw a lot of races. You saw Carl win a couple of races down there
I did.
back in the aught decade. What do they call that? The 2000s decade? What's the proper terminology on that? The last decade was the teens. This is the 20s.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do they call it when it's is that it's like the 2000s
The
decade?
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just call it the aughts.
The aughts.
The aughts. That's when they packed the place at Bristol and had a waiting list. So tonight, it's A.J. Allmendinger on the pole as Kyle Larson tries to win his first race since Kansas Speedway in May. He won this event in the spring. He dominated. He was in the daytime in the spring, and he won this race a year ago. So Kyle Larson's got 2 straight wins at Bristol coming in.
Do you feel that Kyle Larson's going to win the race?
I think you have to favor him just based on the way he's run at Bristol over the last couple of events. But Larson has not been Kyle Larson for most of the summer. He's not performed at the level you would expect after. I think it had to do in part to going for the double at Indy. And it didn't work out so well for him. And after that, he just didn't seem to perform, even in his sprint car, at the level
do you feel that
you would expect Kyle to do. There was an aftermath to him trying to go for the double and didn't work out so good for him.
Do you feel that A.J. Allmendinger's got a chance to win?
Well, if you're sitting on the pole, I think he
Right.
got a chance. I think it surprised a lot of people that he was able to get the pole position.
Ryan Blaney as well.
Yeah, Blaney, I think you always have to give him a pretty good chance to win, but Blaney's got 2 wins so far. He won the Daytona race here a few weeks back, and he won at Nashville Superspeedway earlier this year, but he's had a chance to win a lot of races in 2025 only to get caught up in wrecks or have mechanical issues or something going on. But Blaney, I think you have to say, is also a championship contender. But I don't know what you think, guys, or who you believe would be the favorites to be in the Final Four. I think Hamlin and Briscoe are 2 guys right now, based on how they've run over the last couple of weeks with Joe Gibbs Racing. You'd have to put those 2
Todd,
as favorites.
what do
right
you
now.
think?
Yeah, I still think we're going to have this.
Kyle Larson's the winner?
I don't know. I mean, like Kirk said, Kyle's having some issues this year. My thought is I think we'll probably get a first-time maybe winner this year, just kind of where we're at.
A first-time champion?
Yeah, I think we will.
What do you think about Bubba Wallace's chances?
So
of
that
winning?
would mean Denny Hamlin has a chance to be a first-time champion.
That was kind of where I was kind of going this year. We talked about it last week a little bit, and I think Denny Hamlin's probably your odds-on favorite going into. I mean, we know how it is. Larson, if he can get hot, he can string a few together.
But something always happens to Hamlin at the end of the year.
Yep,
Some mistake on pit road or something happens.
Maybe this
to
is
him.
this
I
is
think finally 5 wins. You'd have to say he would be a favorite, right?
I mean,
5 wins this year.
He's just been pretty strong. So that was kind of who my pick was. And Bubba, and like you said, don't
count out Bubba Wallace,
because Bubba, if he had some issues on pit road a couple weeks ago as well. So my thought is, after first week of playoff racing, you kind of get the butterflies out of the way, and
right.
We're back to Bristol. We're racing. That race last night was pretty crazy. They raced on Thursday night as well, Kirk. They had truck race on Thursday. I was flipping through the channels, and hell, there was a race on Thursday night, the truck race, and then last night the Xfinity
Who won
race.
the truck race, Kirk?
Lane Riggs won the truck race at Bristol on Thursday night. Last night, it was the same guy who won the Xfinity race at Kansas Speedway last year. You know what I'm talking about? Eric Amarola. His
That's
second
crazy.
Xfinity win of the year.
Part-time driver and Xfinity and held off the playoff. I don't know. There was 2 or 3. I think the top 10, other than him, were playoff contenders that finished.
Yeah, he's not running for the championship.
No, but
he's driving. It's a partial schedule with Joe Gibbs Racing.
yeah, but man, he was strong last night.
Yes, he was. They played a little bit of strategy to help Amarola put himself into position. Of course, we were looking to see if Connor Zilic would win his 5th straight.
How did they play
race.
the strategy, Kirk?
The way they scheduled their pit stops at the end is why Amarola was in in a position of where he could win that race, because I don't think he would win it had they not played the strategy. They were able to move and maneuver the pit stops such that it put him out in front on the closing laps. He was on fresher tires than everybody else in the closing laps, and that's kind of what put him in position. So if you got better tires than everybody else, you're going to put yourself in a good position to win. But I think heading into, you'd have to say that Connor Zilic and Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer and even Sheldon Creed. Amarola had to hold off Sheldon Creed at the end. Creed can't seem to get a win. That's his fifth second place finish of the year.
Finish. I mean, that's some pretty good racing, though. You finishing 5 times in the top 1 and 2. But you're right, Kirk. I thought he might. It was lap 36 is when he went in and pitted and got those tires. So you're right. That was pretty much the difference in that race, Kirk. With
36 laps remaining.
Yeah, with 36 laps left. He had the pit, he had the new fresher tires, so that he was able to hold him off there at the end. It was a pretty good race. I know that they were beating and banging all night. There was a lot of people on the call-in show talking about how good of a race it was in person.
Is that what people expected, Bristol?
Well, yeah, but I think, it hasn't been lately, but the Xfinity kind of guys, they kind of let it hang out, and it was the first night of the playoffs as well for those guys. They're off a week, is that right, Kirk? And then they're here in Kansas.
Yeah, the next race for the Xfinity Series has at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, Eric Amarola won that race a year ago.
Right.
I would expect him to be back to run I haven't seen the entry list for Kansas, but I would expect Eric to come back. Why wouldn't he come back if he won this race a year ago, right?
Kelly's shouting out from Central Point, Oregon.
Welcome to everybody tuned in. We got a lot of dirt racing to talk about, too. How about Tanner Thorson winning his first full-fledged high-limit race last night out at Lernerville Speedway in Pennsylvania, and he came from the 12th starting spot to do it. Tanner Thorson, he's running that coilover suspension. The only guy that's out there. Sammy had a coilover that he'd been kind of tinkering with. But nobody else on the tour runs coilover.
On his midget, didn't he?
Well, he did on his sprint car, too. So,
right.
Remember, Sammy had that car up at Knoxville. He's running a coilover. But Tanner Thorson is one of the more hands-on drivers that you'll see out there. He works on his own. This is not his race car. The car is owned by Rod Gross. But he maintains it, works on it, and is hands-on, and he's the guy that's kind of on top of this coilover stuff, and they've made it work. They compared this track at Lernerville to Lucas Oil Speedway and the way it's set up. Brad Sweet was talking about that, who finished second. He led quite a bit of this race before Thorson was able to pass him. But Sweet compared this track to Lucas Oil Speedway, the way the dirt is, and that, if you remember, Thorson ran well at Lucas Oil Speedway. He had a good race car down there.
We're going down to the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial next
weekend.
Right.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's coming up. The Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial Race, featuring the Power I Wing 410 sprint cars and War and MWRA non-wing sprints. Defending winners of this race are Scott Boguski. It's a 410 race, and Xavier Doney won the non-wing race last year. Xavier is going to be running both wing and non-wing at the Hockett McMillan Memorial, and we'll be all over that next weekend. So we'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. But congratulations to Tanner Thorson. They're going for $30,000 tonight in the weekend finale at Lernerville Speedway. So we'll check on that. Brad Sweet finished second. Dazen Persley, Justin Peck, and Cy Lynch coming from 19th to 5th in that high limit run at Lernerville last night.
Kirk, I went to Lakeside last night.
You did. How was the races at Lakeside? I was there a week ago when the ASCS.
Tim Carrick won
races
last
were there.
night, and Jason Newman won as well. Tim Billings won in the USA or the Pure Stocks.
Wasn't this the Janet Billings Memorial Race?
It was the Janet Billings Memorial Race.
So you, how was the racetrack? Good?
It was pretty good.
It was perfect last week when they had the ASCS sprint cars out there. So tonight is the final night for the Walls family at Central Missouri Speedway. After 3+ decades, they're going to end their career operating Central Missouri Speedway. As far as we know, the track has not been sold yet. They hope that somebody else can come in, purchase the racetrack, and keep it going. Let's pray that happens.
Are you going to go
tonight? This is it for the Walls family down there. We're going to bring on Alan Miller, the voice of Central Missouri Speedway, in hour 2 exclusively on Race Boys. Talk more about that. They have a hog roast down there,
right?
And
I think I'm going to go down there tonight, Kirk.
I've been down there a couple of times this year. You've not been down there yet this year.
I haven't been down there.
I'd say this is the night to do that. Yeah. Maybe we'll ride down together. How about that?
Right.
See,
maybe
Earl
I'll pick you up
Susan
at the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, let's do that. So we will take a ride down to Warrensburg tonight and see Earl and Susan with their last night at Central Missouri Speedway. Hey, I got a couple of other events that happened last night. World of Outlaws were out at, this is a long name for this racetrack, Kevin Harvick's Kern Speedway at Bakersfield. They got 2 different names on this racetrack. Have you noticed that? Outlaws are out on the West Coast this weekend. And Buddy Kofoid dominated last night. It's called Bakersfield Speedway at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. Is that too much for one name of a racetrack?
That's too much.
So anyway, Buddy Kofoid clean swept the night. He set quick time. He won his heat race, the dash, and led every lap of the feature event last night. You can't get much better than that, can you?
Right.
His 11th feature victory of the season. So congratulations to Buddy Kofoid. Just talking about Power Eye Wing 410 sprint cars. They were at Lee County Speedway in Donaldson, Iowa last night. Pretty good action as Ayrton Geniton holds off Hank Davis to win the feature
Davis
at last night. It looked like Davis was going to win this race. He led most of it, but Geniton passed him late. Davis ends up second, J.J. Hickle third, Sean Rahal and Austin McCarl coming from 12th to 5th. At Donaldson, Iowa, they're at Callaway Speedway in Fulton, Missouri tonight. Then they'll head to the Hockett McMillan Memorial next weekend. So congratulations to Ayrton Geniton, who closed the gap on Joe B. Miller for the points battle last night. Joe B. had a solid top 5 finish going till something mechanical went wrong, and he dropped out of the lead into second place in the point standings heading to Callaway last night. So Joe B. Miller, who came in as the points leader, mechanical issues last night, and now he falls behind race winner Ayrton Geniton, who's going for another championship in the Power Eye non-wing sprint cars. And also, congratulations to Nick Hoffman, who wins the World of Outlaw late model race at Needmore, Georgia last night. And Justin Grant before we go to break, we got to talk about Justin Grant. We had visited with him at Lucas Oil Speedway last Saturday night. You and I went down there to Lucas Oil Speedway to watch the non-wing USAC Sprint Car. Scott, Justin Grant set a record for becoming the all-time leader in non-wing sprint cars.
Do you got some sound, Kirk?
Let's hear from Justin Grant. Oh, by the way, he won again last night at Circle City, but let's hear from Justin Grant from his feature victory last week at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Just had to work the 44 there at Wesley Smith, and I knew we were really good. The track was fast early, and it was hard to. He was doing a really good job of kind of sliding himself across there, and it made it hard to do something. And then he started opening up his entry into 3, looking to make a little more speed, and then that opened up a window for me to slide him and get him put away, and then I could kind of run my entry pace the way I wanted to, and felt really good. But yeah, just was able to kind of work him, and then once he moved his entry up into 3, I was able to get by him there.
Then Jake Swanson was right behind you there. How much did you see of him?
Yeah, I saw him anytime I didn't get off of 4 real good. I'd see him poke the bottom of 1 and 2. Or if I got held up in lap traffic, I'd see him poke the bottom. So I knew I needed to hustle and keep digging there and kept working on trying to get my exit off of 4 right. It was tricky there, the way you'd come through 3 and then kind of pop into the slick patch and then catch it off of 4. And you could kind of get up over 4. There was a little strip you had to find, and just kept working on trying to do that a little better.
So it's been a while since you've been here at Lucas Oil Speedway. What'd you think of the racetrack?
Yeah, it was good. It was fast. I don't remember it having this much grip, and so that was cool.
And last night at Circle City Speedway in Indianapolis, he did it again. Justin Grant adds one more to this victory list of 63. Passed Dave Darland last week. So he's got 63 non-wing sprint car victories. Actually, that's total USAC victories in the United States Auto Club. And last night, he crawled out of that race car just like he did last Saturday night, asked for the crutches, hobbled around to the front, still got that boot on the left leg, and celebrated another victory last night. I don't know how he does it, Scott, because after he came into the pit area, we talked to him after he came into the pit area, he gets out of the race car, and he gets those crutches. He looked absolutely exhausted. I don't know how he does it.
Right.
To even crawl in a race car with a broken foot and be able to not only manage the race car around the track, but win races with it. I'm impressed. So congratulations to Justin Grant. So that is some of the big winners. We'll talk about more as we go through the show here this morning.
All right, Track Talk is brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. When we come back, Matt Covington is going to join us next here on Track Talk.
Track Talk.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
You got 4 minutes, gentlemen, 4 minutes.
Whole month long, back at the Butcher Block. Like classic beef tenderloin, only $13.99 a pound. You save $2 per pound. Whole beef tenderloin, it's sold in Cryovac, just $15.99 a pound. Marinated Chilean salmon fillets, 5 ounces, $11 each. How about wild fresh sockeye salmon burgers, 6 ounces, 2 for $9. And who doesn't love bacon? Farmland Classic Bacon, 16 ounces, $4.99 each. All these specials and more are good at Hen House. Find them online at henhouse.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hey Hey Jayhawks, we're back in the booth on Saturday, September 20th for our Big 12 opener against West Virginia. We need you here in Lawrence to pack out the booth and keep up the energy all year round. Grab your tickets now at kuathletics.com or call 800-34-HAWKS. Be there, be loud, and get ready for the conference opener. Call now, 800-34-HAWKS, or at kuathletics.com. Rock Chalk!
Sunday, it's a Super Bowl rematch for the Chiefs against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Get ready for kickoff with the Central Bank of the Midwest pregame show beginning at 9 a.m. At noon, we'll bring you live coverage of the Giants and Cowboys from Dallas. After the Chiefs and Eagles, we're back with the Red and Gold postgame show presented by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. And it all wraps up with the Vikings and Falcons on Sunday Night Football. It's all right here Sunday on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You can do more in the fall to help your lawn than any other time of the year. This is SSJ. Custom Lawn are my go-to guys. Late summer and early fall is the best time to seed your lawn. There's a lot of confusion over whether you should power rake, verticut, aerate, seed, and what type of seed to use. Do you need to fertilize when you seed or not? Custom Lawn has renovation packages that include 3 follow-up visits throughout the fall. Make the call today to Custom Lawn and Landscape at 913-782-8315 or online at customlawn.com.
Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. Let the good times roll. The construction is finished and parking in the garage off State Line Road is open and 3 free hours with validation at Jazz. As always, Jazz has great daily specials. Tuesday, half off chicken a la mer, and Thursday is our half shell raw oyster special. And of course, happy hour is Monday through Friday, 3 until 6, along with daily lunch specials, Monday through Friday from 11 till 3. Jazz, the original location on State Line or the Legends in Village West.
Hey, this is Stephen St. John. When I was having problems with my AC, I called Summit Heating and Cooling. They took care of me fast. From the first call to the final repair, they were professional, honest, and they did the job right. Summit Heating and Cooling is locally owned and stake their reputation on industry best practices, quality work, and straight talk. I didn't need to do anything but call. If you need help now, visit SummitHCKC.com to schedule today. Summit Heating and Cooling, a company and service you can trust.
Attention hunters, farmers, and business owners. This is the Can-Am Factory Sales Event at Reno's Power Sports in Kansas City. For a limited time, score up to $3,500 off or get 0% financing for 36 months on select 2025 Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Whether you're tackling tough jobs or chasing big adventures, Can-Am delivers the power, performance, and control you need. But hurry, these offers end October 31st. Stop by Reno's Power Sports today and ride away with your deal. Reno's Power Sports, Kansas City's home for Can-Am.
Welcome back to Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the Power Midwest Lightning Sprints. Kirk?
Matt Covington won a week ago, last night, at Lakeside Speedway, and he finished second. They had 2 features out there. If you remember, we had Blake Hahn on the show last week, but Matt Covington was the winner of the first race, and we spoke with Matt on our Monday Mostly Motorsports show, and here is a little bit of that conversation. Let's talk about some good things. The win that you had at Lakeside Speedway on Friday night, that was a thriller.
Yeah, no, and Lakeside's another racetrack. I mean, that track the last handful of years has been so good. I mean, it's just racy, fast, bottom, top. It's a track we run good at. We bested the 15H car, which is tough to do. He's been on a roll. And he runs really good at Lakeside as well. And we were just real lightning fast on the bottom that night, and was able to hold him off till the end. He made it close, made it exciting at the end.
Anytime you can hold off Sam Haferteef, that's a good thing, isn't it?
That makes you feel good. Yeah, no, he's a tough guy to beat. Fierce competitor. And he was going for it. I mean, he got to our right rear tire coming off a 4 on the white flag lap, and I heard him there, and just knew it was go time, and had to hit a couple perfect laps on the bottom, and was able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, the way you came off turn number 4, he went high, you went low, you made it stick down at the bottom. That was That was perfect coming off that final turn there, Matt.
No, I knew it had to be perfect. I had some lap traffic in front of me, and they just so happened to slip up just enough for me to squeeze my nose in there. Sometimes the seas just part for you, Kirk. I mean, it's your night. It's your night. Lap car could have easily blocked me down there, and Sam ended up with the win, and it just worked out in our favor that night. And in the second feature, we ended up running second, and I led some laps, but I didn't get through I led some laps and then didn't get through the lap traffic quite as good, and led Sam in the 52 car. Blake Hahn got by us in the feature, and then Sam ended up getting tangled with the lap car, and me and then I charged back on Blake and tried to throw a slide a couple times and got beside him, and Blake pulled back around on our outside there in between me and the wall and made a good race of it. We had a good night at Lakeside, a first and a second. We had to make the makeup feature from I think it was in earlier in July. They had a light malfunction at the track, but they decided to make it a 2-night event instead of just canceling that night, which was really good, really nice of them to do. I mean, that was great. I'm glad they did that. I don't personally know the guy that runs the Lakeside track, but I'd like to shake his hand. I mean, if anybody ain't ever been out to Lakeside Speedway and watched the sprint cars race, that's I know it's probably not as good as the Kansas City Chiefs game, but somebody ought to go out there and watch sprint cars one time if they ain't ever been out there before.
Well, Scott wished he'd have been out there because he's a diehard Chiefs fan, and now he says he wished he'd have been out there seeing you race.
Yeah, I bet. Great racetrack. I mean, it's always so racy. I mean, there's always a bottom and a top, and I just think they're doing a great job over there, and I hope they keep having us out there.
Are you going to admit now, Scott, you made a mistake? You wished you'd have gone to the races instead of watching the Chiefs.
I do.
Yeah.
I so wish that I would have went out to the Chiefs game. Lakeside Speedway.
I was there, Matt.
I didn't keep up with it. I seen Kirk there. Kirk was there. But did the Chiefs win, Scott?
They lost.
They lost.
That's why.
That's just going to get them motivated so they can come on strong at the end. You can't count the Chiefs out.
You had a close call or two in that first race there. Almost got up into the fence there. Talk about that.
Well, yeah, no, I knew I was starting out front, and I knew, the cars I had behind me. And like I said, Blake Hahn and Sam Havertett both run great at Lakeside. I consider it one of my better tracks too, but so do those guys. And the way we had the car set up, I was set up to be fast out front, and had a pretty gnarly cushion, and I struggled to run it in the first feature. Mainly some stuff we were doing with left rear bump spring, and then I struggled in traffic a little bit too. Luckily, in the first feature, they were throwing a little moisture through the middle, so I didn't have to attack the curb like I tried to do, and ended up getting over it early in the feature and got pretty close to the fence there, but they were starting to throw some moisture in the middle, so when I had to, I could work the middle good enough to get around some lap traffic, and it paid off for us there. In the second feature, we just made some minor adjustments, and we were a lot better on the curb. A guy can make their car really fast out front in clean air, and be not quite as good when you get in dirty air, and it's kind of give and take, and sometimes doing it one way wins the race, and sometimes it might lose you the race, and you just gotta pick your battles and try to do the best with what you got.
How do you like the way they qualify the cars in the ASCS, which is a little different than the other series? They put them in groups that your heat race is going to be. How do you like the way they do that?
Well, I like it. I think I like it that way. I mean, some nights you don't like it. You get in the same heat race as Sam, Blake, and Bergman and Matt Covington all in the same heat. You don't like it as much then. You'd like to be able to spread out and maybe not have all the guys that are the fastest at the moment, be all in the same group. Sometimes, it works out that way, and most of the time though, we're spread out anyway. I'd say I like it, but I can, there's going to be good and bad for both ways of doing it. For our series, I think the way they're doing it is working. Like I said, I don't know how you would say, take the top 6 in points and, try to split them up where they're not all in the same heat. But, one thing about ASCS, especially when I first started running it, and Scott will remember, we used to do a pill draw, and
yep,
that, you could catch a tough heat race, be in the back of it, and be on a lockdown track, and you have to make something happen. I mean, it forces you to really dig down deep and make something happen if you want to be a contender for the points championship. Where when you're always spread out and your fast guys are always spread out, the road to getting there is just a little bit easier. So I mean, I like the challenge part of it, and I kind of like. I like that. Sometimes I even kind of miss the format of not qualifying and just having the pill draw and that kind of thing, and just how the mentality in the heat races and stuff was so much a bigger deal than what it is now. But at the end of the day, I like the qualifying thing better. It's better on the pocketbook. You can consistently run in the front more, because you're going to have nights with the way they did the draw. I mean, there was nights you might have, all the top 5 in points in the same heat race, and you might have drew the back row in the track. They might have had some rain the night before, and I mean, your shot of getting up to the front is slim. I mean, so you're gonna have to fight, probably end up in the B feature and have to fight your way towards the front just to salvage a decent points night. So I think the way they separate the groups and stuff, it kind of, there's a lot of times this year, I've had Jason Martin and Sam and Blake or, Seth, have 3 or 4 fast guys all in the same heat. So it kind of reminds me of how it used to be, we're like, oh man, I'm going to have to fight for this. Like we got to really be spot on to beat these fast guys, because we don't want to get stuck in the 5th hole and miss out on being able to miss or make the dash. You got to either be quick time and run 4, or you got to win the heat race to get in the dash. And it's super hard to try to win an ASCS national race without being in the dash.
Hey, are you in favor of the pill draw?
Yeah. I mean, the way that they do the pill draw and they split and we only qualify against our group. Sometimes you get a group where you're feeling pretty confident, like, okay, I know we've been the faster than these guys all year, and we're in their group, so we're, our night's looking real good. And then other nights, you're like, oh man, I got the 15H car and the 52 car and the 36 car. We're all in the same heat race. I like that better than just being, if they split us all up, and it wouldn't be as tough. I mean, you don't know where your car's at. If I'm in a heat race and the top 5 fastest guys, nobody's in it, and I dominate the heat race and I dominate qualifying with my group, I really don't know where my car's at compared to Sam or Blake, the fast guys, the guys that have been consistently fast this year. So there's part of it where it's actually good to have the 52 car in my same heat race, and then I out qualify them. Well, I know that our car is up to par. Where if I'm in a heat race by myself and those guys are in a different one, and we go and win, we think our car's real fast. We're feeling good about it, but really maybe we're not that fast, because the guys that are faster were in a different heat. So I think if they split it up, or if they put us, if they seeded us based on our points still, and we were always in a different heat, you wouldn't get, come A feature time, there would be times where maybe I didn't do as much to the race car because I was feeling good about it, when really the 15H car is going to wax our butt,
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Track Talk.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial.
3.5 minutes, gentlemen, 3.5, and you have an out time of 56:15.
Perfect.
For your products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply is an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Les Norman here. I want to invite you to tune into my show, Breaking the Norm. Every week, my special guests join and we cover the brightest and most compelling side of sports. Inspiration, heart, and a whole lot of positivity from people who have lived life differently. Athletes, entertainers, and people like you and me, sharing their stories of challenges they've overcome, experiences that uplift, motivate, and celebrate the good side of sports and life. Breaking the Norm is presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Every Saturday on Sports Radio 810 at 7 a.m. and Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on ESPN Kansas City.
Your first new car? It's here at Randy Colonel Buick GMC. With their first-time buyer program, you can build your credit, prepare for the future, and drive in style, all in a brand new 2025 Buick. Picture it, sleek design, cutting-edge technology, and the confidence that comes with driving a Buick, now within your reach. At Randy Colonel Buick GMC, ask you about the first-time buyer program and drive into the future with Buick. Randy Colonel Buick GMC, where first-time buyers become lifetime drivers. RandyColonel.com.
Are you suffering from ulcerative colitis? BVL Clinical Research is enrolling participants for a clinical trial that could be the solution you've been seeking. You must be 16 to 80 years old with moderate to severe active UC, even if past treatments failed or caused side effects. At BVL, we believe in compassionate, patient-centered care with a vision to make tomorrow's treatments available today. You may receive study-related care at no cost, plus compensation for time, food, and travel. Go to bvlresearch.com to learn more and apply. That's bvlresearch.com.
Don't leave your roof to chance. Leave it to Pyramid. A bad roofer can cost you thousands in leaks, repairs, and sleepless nights. Pyramid Roofing has been protecting Kansas City homes for over 30 years, using top quality materials that stand the test of time. Call a roofer you can trust. Call Pyramid Roofing today at 816-966-1101 or visit pyramidroofingkc.com. Pyramid Roofing, your home deserves the best.
1 minute.
Are in, and everyone loves Zarda Barbecue's new crispy smoky chicken wings. Perfect for tailgating in the parking lot or on your own couch. Just be ready to clean off those sticky fingers. Zarda's wings are slow smoked, seasoned, and dropped down for a crispy smoky finish. Try them naked, covered in raspberry chipotle, hot honey, or our Memphis dry rub. Order them by the dozen or the half dozen for a limited time. Crispy smoky chicken wings only at Zarda Barbecue. Come get some.
Saturday, tune in for a college football doubleheader on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Start your day off with College Game Day. Stan Weber in for Danny Klingscale this week, getting you ready for all the action. Then at 11 o'clock, Alabama already has a loss. They're facing Wisconsin. They won up in Camp Randall last year. And at 2:30, Georgia takes on Tennessee in a big SEC battle. It's a college football doubleheader this Saturday on your home for college football, bowl season, and the college football playoff. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome back to Track Talk with the Racing Boys. I'm Kirk Elliott along with Scott Traylor. Chase Briscoe was in Kansas City the other day at Jack Stack Barbecue making the announcement of the partnership that Kansas Speedway has with Jack Stack. Chase Briscoe's off to a hot start with a win and a second-place finish so far in the playoffs. And here is Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, it's been a great start for us in the playoffs. You know, hopefully we can keep this going for another 8 weeks. If we can do that, then yeah, it'd be great, right? So, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's about as good as we could have written it up. You know, outside of winning last weekend, but yeah, our cars just have had great speed. You know, I would say our execution was really good at Darlington last weekend, not so much, but it still had enough speed that we could recover from it. So, yeah, looking forward to, you know, going to Bristol this week and trying to, you know, win the Bass Pro Shop night race. That'd be pretty dang cool. And then hopefully just carrying all this speed and momentum into the round of 12 and then the round of 8 and hopefully the championship 4. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far.
How were you able to recover from the issues in the pits at St. Louis? Come back for a second.
Just really, honestly, a great race car. You know, it's a sickening thing when you run second with a car that was capable of winning. But, you know, truthfully, we were in 34th place with 80 to go. And if you would have told me we would have ran second, I would have gladly taken it. So, Yeah, just our cars have been really, really good, and just allows us to, do some things more aggressively. I mean, last weekend, we obviously had to do something different strategy-wise, and at the end of the race, we had 100-something laps on our left side tires, and we were still just as fast as everybody really but the 11s. So, yeah, it just takes really fast race cars, and that's what we've had here lately.
The whole Joe Gibbs team did well. All 4 of your teams in the top 10.
Yeah, it was a great day for Joe Gibbs Racing. That's a track that's always been a good JGR track, but certainly this past weekend, to have all 4 cars in the top 10, and really all of us had kind of unique things throughout the day that kind of set us back, and we were still able to get back up there and be in contention. So yeah, great day, and Bristol is another one. I think this year we had all 4 cars in the top 6 or 7, so should be another good one this weekend, hopefully.
Okay, you're locked into the top 12. You're coming to Kansas Speedway, a place where you finished 4th in the spring. You got to feel confident coming back to Kansas?
Looking forward to it for sure. Really the only track so far this year we went to for a second time is Darlington, and obviously we were able to win there. And Bristol will be another one we go to for the second time, and then Kansas. So for us, Darlington was obviously just much easier for us going there the second time, having notes as a new team, and just a new partnership, a new relationship. So yeah, looking forward to Kansas. That was really I felt like the race, it kind of was a light switch for us to really turn the corner on how we started the season, and hopefully it can be another great one for us.
Kansas Speedway is a track that is very racy. Was there any fall off as far as the racing, the quality of the racing in the spring from what we've seen in the past year?
I don't think so. If anything, I thought it was even better. You could really make moves and pass guys, and we came through the field and obviously ended up in the top 5. We were a lap down even at one point. So yeah, for us, I thought the tire fall off was there. You could move around the racetrack. It's really turned into, I feel like, probably the best mile and a half on the schedule. It's right there with Charlotte. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to come to Kansas, and the intensity will be certainly high this time around, just with it being in the playoffs, and yeah, looking forward to it.
To win the Southern 500 in 2 different race teams, 2 different manufacturers, how proud of you are that?
Certainly proud. Just honestly winning at Darlington, the sense of accomplishment as a driver is really high. Just it's such a challenging racetrack, and to be able to do it with 2 teams and do it back-to-back years, from a confidence standpoint, it goes a long way. And yeah, it's definitely something to be proud of. It's something that never thought I'd even run a Southern 500, let alone win 2 of them now. So yeah, something to certainly be proud of, and something that I'll always cherish forever for sure.
What was you won at Pocono earlier this year? Kind of talk about that win.
Yeah, the Pocono one was, I would say, I've never felt such a sense of relief in my life, or at least in my career. Just coming over to JGR, you knew that you had to make the playoffs, and just how the season started, we would run okay, but we never really were able to win one, right? And to be able to finally win and know you're locked into the playoffs, and just finally going to a new team and getting that win, the weight of the world just felt like it was off my shoulders. And really from that Pocono win on, I feel like we've been arguably the best team. So yeah, it was definitely a huge turnaround for our team, and just I think a sense of the weight of the world not only off my shoulders, but really our whole race team. A lot of us felt like we had a lot to prove, and going there and winning there, it certainly turned our season.
You're here in Kansas City. A big announcement, Jack Stack Barbecue becoming a big partner. Kansas City and barbecue, that goes together.
Yeah, definitely go hand in hand. It'll be neat. Every time that you go to Victory Lane, it's special, right? But whenever they do something that kind of makes it unique, and especially adds a local flavor to it, I think it's really cool. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully eating Jack Stack Barbecue in Victory Lane at Kansas Speedway. It'll be neat, also for the fans to be able to, have the opportunity to go and get some food in the concourse. So yeah, looking forward to the partnership, and definitely when you think of Kansas, you think of barbecue, and certainly to have it there at the racetrack will be nice.
Good luck to you at Bristol this weekend. Look forward to seeing you at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And Briscoe will be starting on the 16th row tonight at Bristol. That's right. He qualified 31st, and he's going to start alongside Kyle Busch, who's won a lot of races at Bristol. So it'll be fun watching those guys trying to come from the 16th row tonight. You think Briscoe can get up there? It's not that great a qualifying effort, but hey, it's 500 laps. So he's got plenty of time to work his way up there. So looking forward to watching that race tonight. Hey, I just want to remind everybody the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum will be open all through the Late Model Knoxville Nationals next week. That big event starts on Thursday night of next week up at Knoxville. And they still have the Manzanita Speedway Salute on display until October the 1st.
They got the Jesse Hockett car up there.
That's still up there. Jesse won in a car that is on display up there. The last sanctioned win at Manzanita Speedway.
Do you miss Jesse?
We all miss Jesse. It's hard to believe it's been 15-plus years since we lost Jesse. But I don't think there's any bigger memorial race than the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial. Is there one bigger than that in racing?
No.
And Jesse's stature gets bigger every year, doesn't it?
It does.
So anyway, check out the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. It is open 7 days a week, all year round. Don't forget to sign up for the Sprint Car. They've also opened up the sign up for the Corvette for next year already. So they've got that going on. Winacorvette.org. And for the Sprint Car, winasprintcar.com. National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum gift shop also open. If you want to check out all the items up there, go to sprintcarstuff.com. So who's going to win Bristol tonight? Todd, you go first.
I'm going to go ahead. Christopher Bell. He's my pick.
We haven't heard from Christopher
haven't
for
heard
a while,
from
have we?
Haven't heard from C. Bell in a while, so I'm going to go Christopher Bell and the most popular driver, Elliott, Mr. Elliott. So those are my two picks, Bell and Elliott. How about you, Kirk?
I'm going to go with Larson.
Yeah, somebody else picked Larson, too, I saw.
So I just figure it's about time. And if he doesn't win, wouldn't that be something that, he hadn't won since
Kansas.
May, that he would still not have a win since May when they come back here in a couple of weeks? I don't think that's going to happen. Larson is pretty dominant up there, so I'm going to go with him. And as far as my backup pick, we all got to have backup picks, right?
Yeah, you got to have them now.
I am going to go with Austin Dillon. What do you think about
How
that?
about that? How about
that would surprise a lot of people.
How about you, Scott Trailer? Who are you thinking today?
Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell.
There you go.
There you go.
Larson.
I'm going to change my backup pick. I'm
right.
going to change my backup pick. I changed my mind.
All right.
I'm going to go with Ty Gibbs. How about that one? As a backup pick.
Ty Gibbs?
He's not won a race. He's not won a race in the Cup Series. And Gibbs is doing pretty well right now. And Gibbs is starting outside second row tonight. So that's my backup pick.
There you go.
I'm not going to change my mind after that.
I got it written down for Bristol.
So anyway, we got Mostly Motorsports coming up on Monday. We don't know who our guests are yet, but we'll have that posted before the end of the afternoon on Monday, wherever you find your podcasts or on racingboys.com. So check that out. And, of course, we're both looking forward to heading down to Wheatland next weekend for the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial. We'll be all over that event, wing and non-wing.
Are you going to stay in the camper with me?
Yeah. At least a couple of nights. One night I got to be back here to do the show here in Kansas City on Saturday morning. So you going to be down there while I'm here?
Right.
I don't know. We'll both be there together on the Saturday night for sure. So yeah, we'll look forward to hanging out. The weather forecast. Keep your fingers crossed. I think it's good next week, right?
Right.
Looking good so far.
We got back to summer this weekend,
Let me tell you,
didn't we?
I was in the pool all day yesterday.
Wow.
Me and the dog. I got the dog out on the raft.
I saw that.
Did you see my picture of me?
Yep.
So we were out floating on the dog, out on the pool. Got the raft out, and I went swimming. It was hot. It's going to be 90 again today, guys. So
it's supposed to be hot through Sunday.
Are you going to be in the pool today?
I think we're going to go in the pool again today. My son's picking up his new car today, and he's in town, so it's going to be a good day.
So when the Chiefs play on Sunday, it's still going to be hot against the Eagles?
Yep.
So what do you think? The Chiefs going to beat the Eagles this time? They didn't get it done in the Super Bowl.
Let's fingers crossed.
I'm got my fingers crossed right now, to be honest with you.
Looking forward to that. Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thanks to Jay Powers back at Sports Radio 810. Todd Surprise for Scott Traylor. I'm Kirk Elliott. Stay tuned. College Game Day coming up next here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
CBD American Shaman is introducing a groundbreaking new product, Advanced Alkaloids,
Thanks, my man.
a
Appreciate it, bro.
plant-based supplement designed for anyone seeking natural relief from
Good.
everyday stress, discomfort, or
Okay.
those days when you're feeling a bit down. Stop into your local CBD American Shaman location.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Shirt Specialty Sportswear in-house. We do all of the screen printing, all the embroidery. We do some vinyl. The other ad specialty items like your pens, magnets, notepads, calendars. You can actually buy that, build your business to make it larger. We have the largest screen printing process and the largest embroidery anywhere around in the area. We can do stuff all the way from your school clubs to sports teams, a professional look in the office. If you can imagine it, we can do it for you.
From the circle track to the drag strip to off-road racing, Rod End Supply has been keeping their customers at the front of the field since 1989. Whether you need rod ends, tubular rods, or specialty products, Bob Douglas and his Rod End Supply staff are always ready to help you with your needs. You can visit them on the web at rodendsupply.com or call them at 800-284-2902. That's 800-284-2902. Rod End Supply, keeping you at the front of the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sabres 33 RLP. Let's go take a tour. Coming into this animal, we're going to take a trip back here to the feature of this trailer, the deck. Check it out. It's awesome. It's 4 by 10 feet. You can dance on this thing. Boom! Check it out. It's pretty nice. And then coming to the back of this thing, you got a 75-inch TV. It's huge. 60-inch fireplace. It's nice and big, keep you warm. Then you got an ottoman that converts into a table, if you will. Maybe some TV trays. Then this hide-a-bed that I'm pointing at, it comes out and folds into like a king-size bed with storage in the corner for all your linens. Great little addition to the trailer. Your dinette, of course. Then you're going to come around to the kitchen with the tic-toc sink. It's got the spritzer and the waterfall and all that stuff. Residential style refrigerator. It's got the microwave and the oven that's residential as well. Big old pantry over here with motion detected lights, coffee bar, and then coming up to the bedroom, you'll have the bathroom first, nice and spacious with a seat in it for them ladies. And then we got the king size bedroom with washer dryer hookup. I'm telling you, this is a home run for a couples coach. Come and see me, Kyle Walker.
When Steve died, the outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to helped push me and my family forward was a big deal.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
So we have a lot of folks come in interested in traveling for work. This is going to be a great option. Your Coachman Northern Spirit 2565 front kitchen. You have a nice wraparound full front kitchen here. Huge windows up top. Big 12-volt refrigerator. Lots of windows on the sides here. Great natural light coming in. You have your big TV over here on the swing arm bracket so you can kind of see it from any point in the room. Also have your bar stools here. Sit and eat your breakfast. In the bedroom, you're going to have a king-size bed in the slide-out. Lots of storage underneath that. Washer, dryer, hookup. Tons of storage with the drawers. Then you got your full bath across the back. When it comes down to a camper that you can get for 6,500 pounds and be under 30 feet long, this is an absolute home run.
Race fans, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week, year-round, for you to come in and check out all of the wonderful race cars on display in the museum. And our online store at sprintcarstuff.com is open 24 hours a day for you to check out everything that we have in stock for sprint car fans. Whether it's for a birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, sprintcarstuff.com has it all. That's at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hey everybody, this is Larry the Cable Guy. You are listening to RacingBoys.com, and if you're not, I swear to you, get in your truck or do something, but get the hell out of this country because you don't belong in it if you don't listen to these fellas.
It's time for America's most unique motorsports show, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply and the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Welcome back to Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints.
A lot of dirt racing around the country still to be had, and I think probably the highlight this weekend would have to be both on the high limit and the World of Outlaws side. Outlaws are at Paris Auto Speedway tonight after they raced at Bakersfield Speedway last night. How do you say that? Kern Speedway at Kevin Harvick's Bakersfield Speedway, or is it the other way around?
Right.
I forget. Too long a name. But anyway, Betty Kofoid dominated last night. David Gravel did not get a top 10 finish last night. Gravel, who is well on his way to another championship in the World of Outlaws, had a right rear flat tire last night with just about 3 laps to go, and he was pumping the gas, trying to keep the pressure up on the right rear so he could do a green-white checker restart. And that was going to work for him, even though he lost 2 or 3 positions. He was running second behind Kofoid when this happened, and he was gassing it, trying to keep the pressure up on that tire, and so they threw the green flag for the first green-white checker restart.
That tire was pretty flat, wasn't it, Kurt?
Yeah, but they got to the checkered flag. They waved the checkered flag, and you're thinking the race is over, and said, nope, we got a car spun out down there. We got to do it again. So Gravel then had to go in and change the right rear tire. So that put him at the last of the longest line of the lead lap cars in 20th place. He got back up to 15th, but then they penalized him for hitting the cone and put him back 2 spots at the end. So David Gravel comes out of there with a 17th place finish last night. And that was was the end of his streak of top 10 finishes.
He was 200 points behind. He's now down to 142 points.
Yeah. I think he's still in pretty good shape, though, don't you think?
Yep.
Of course, he just does not ever finish outside the top 10, and most times top 5 is where he's at. That's how consistent David Gravel is, and he was going to get a second-place finish last night, but that just goes to show you a flat tire or anything can happen. Tires do go down.
Right.
At times, and it happened to David Gravel last night, but he still got, as you pointed out, a 140-point cushion out there. But Buddy Kofoid did about as perfect as you could do last night, setting quick time, won his heat race, the dash, and led every lap of the A main. That's 11 feature victories for Buddy Kofoid, and he's still up towards the top, if not at the top of the money list, because of those big wins he had at Houston Speedway back in June. He walked out of there with, $350,000 plus, and he's won some other big races as well. So Buddy Kofoid, 11 feature victories, but I don't think he's got enough to win the championship. Not as consistent as David Gravel.
David Gravel has won $434,000.
How much has Kofoid got? You see that number? That's got to be well north of $500,000, isn't it? Kofoid's won more money than David Gravel.
He's won $666,200.
There you go. There's your number.
Right.
So he's got, you say he's got a couple of $100,000 on Gravel as far as earnings?
Right.
The other big winner last night, Tanner Thorson, winning his first high limit race. That's his, he's won some split field preliminary features at some big events and so forth, but this is the first time Tanner Thorson has won a full-fledged high-limit points-paying race. We thought he was going to get it down at Lucas Oil Speedway here a few weeks back, didn't we?
Right.
Then he inexplicably spun the car in turn 4. He was able to still gather it in and get a good place finish. But that was probably the closest place he was going to get a win prior to last night. But he got it down at Lernerville Speedway.
Carson Macedo's won $315,300.
That sounds about right.
Right.
Macedo and Sheldon Hodgeshield were going at it last night. Did you see that? Macedo just kind of elbowed Sheldon Hodgeshield out of the way, but Sheldon got him back. Sheldon ended up with a podium finish out of it last night and finished ahead of Carson Macedo. So, when they were interviewing him, I wonder how the interviews would have gone had Sheldon not finished ahead of Carson Macedo, because he was probably pretty upset about that. But in the end, it was Hodgeshield that had the smile on his face, and, Macedo didn't really have a lot to say about it, but Sheldon finished third and Carson Macedo fourth last. Or no, Sheldon finished second and Carson Macedo third in the final rundown at Bakersfield last night. But getting back to the high limit race, Tanner Thorson passing Brad Sweet. Whenever you see Brad Sweet on the pole, and Sweet hadn't really been running all that well, he'd had a number of finishes outside the top 10 over the last couple of weeks. Of course, they've changed crew members and crew chiefs have left and so forth on that Casey Kane 49 car, so they've struggled somewhat, but Sweet had a much better run last night. He started on the front row last night, but was not able to sustain the lead as Tanner Thorson utilized the bottom of the racetrack to perfection. Sweet was running high, and Thorson was running low, and Thorson made it stick better, and he was able to pass Sweet with a handful of laps to go and win last night. Sweet ends up second. Dason Persley passes Justin Peck for third. Cy Lynch, the biggest mover of the race last night, 19th to 5th. Rico finished in 7th. Giovanni Scelzi filling in for the injured Tyler Courtney, 8th. Brent Marks and Justin Sanders rounds out the top 10. Justin Sanders was running the Jason Myers 14 car last night. But it was kind of fun listening to Tyler Courtney do the color commentary last night. He's out for the rest of the year with that back injury he sustained at Eldora Speedway, but I thought Sunshine did a pretty good job up in the booth delivering the color commentary of the race last night. They're going to go at it again at Lernerville Speedway tonight. $30,000 on the line for tonight's feature event, with $2,000 to start the finish of the Commonwealth Clash at Lernerville Speedway tonight. And again, Justin Grant wins his second straight in the USAC non-wing sprint cars after his win at Lucas Oil Speedway last Saturday night. He gets it done last night at Circle City Raceway in Indianapolis. Tonight, they're going to Tri-State Speedway in Hobstadt, Indiana. So congratulations to all of those guys, and to Ayrton Jeniton, who passed Hank Davis for the lead at Lee County Speedway in Donaldson, Iowa last night in the POWRi 410 wing sprint cars. And Ayrton takes over the point lead in the POWRi from Joe B. Miller, who had some mechanical issues last night while running in the top 5, wasn't able to finish the race. And now Ayrton Jeniton back on top of the point standings as they head to Callaway Speedway tonight.
When you beat Hank Davis, that's a heck of a run.
Hank had a pretty good run going. He was disappointed he didn't win that race last night. Jeniton was able to get around him, but Hank still ended up in the second spot, and Austin McCarl made a pretty good run late from deep in the pack to get himself up there. J.J. Hickle, I think, ends up in third, so we'll keep an eye on that. Chase Rodman is the voice of High Limit Racing. They call it Kubota High Limit Racing. We had him on our show on Monday to talk about. It's been a few weeks since we had Chase Rodman on the show, but he was here on Monday to talk about what's been going on in the High Limit Racing Series, and here is Chase Rodman from earlier in the week. Well, let's talk about the big race, the Tuscarora 50 on Saturday night. Who picked Ryan Timms to win after a 21st and 16th place finishes of the prelim night? Who saw that coming?
I don't think anybody saw it coming going into the weekend, and they certainly didn't see it coming after the 2 prelim nights there, as you mentioned, didn't have any finishes inside the top 15. But man, was he just on another level on Saturday night. I mean, before this weekend, he had never even made a show against High Limit at Port Royal. And he'd never even made the Tuscarora 50 main event in his career. I think last year, Tony Laporta mentioned it in Victory Lane. He was in the C main last year. So it's crazy that, you switch teams with, I think last year when we were at that race, he was in the 27H, the Hefner car. And then he tried the year before that in his own 5T, and just they did not have speed there at Port Royal. But Shane Liebig, I don't know what they got going on, man, but, I mean, whatever it is, it absolutely works. And they've got something that not many guys have right now. And, they struggled those first 2 nights, whether it was the car, whether it was the driver, maybe it was a little bit of both. But it's just crazy to see that they go from 21st and 16th one night to beating the field by 7.2 seconds the next night. That is something you do not see very often. And it's pretty crazy to think that going into this weekend, everybody was probably thinking, okay, who's it going to be? Which high roller is going to win, or which PA Posse member is going to win? Neither of them. A driver from Oklahoma and a car from South Dakota were able to get the win.
Hey, only Kenny Weld and Doug Wolfgang in 84 and 85 did the same thing.
And that was all in the Weichert Livestock car. Pennsylvania-based Weichert Livestock car, both of those drivers.
Yeah, 40 years since we saw somebody win the Nationals and the Tusky 50 in the same season. And I don't know how old Wolfgang and Kenny Weld were when they did it, but Ryan Timms at 19 years old, just an incredible season that he's been able to put together. Even outside the Knoxville Nationals win, even outside the Tuscarora 50 win, he's got that Houston Speedway Championship. I think he got 5 or 6 more wins over at Knoxville this year. He's sitting top 5 in earnings on the season among all sprint car drivers in the nation, doing it outside of a national tour. 14 wins this year, 3 and a 360 as well, so 17 total wins on the season. It's just been an incredible year for him, and very curious to see what, next year looks like for those guys if they continue to do, what it sounds like they're going to do kind of the same thing they're doing this year, and then maybe get geared up for 27 and make some big run at, the Outlaws or High Limit or whatever. But the other crazy thing that comes out of this season for him is, his first ever Outlaw wins the Knoxville Nationals, his first ever High Limit wins the Tuscarora 50. I don't think many guys could say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely incredible. I mean, we've seen the talent that Ryan Timms has had for a number of years now. He's had the raw talent, but he's really matured here over the last couple of years. But hooking up with Shane Lebeek, that has been the real ticket. I remember, we were all down at Lucas Oil Speedway, actually out here at I-70 Speedway last year when they got together, and then they finished second at I-70. They go down to Lucas Oil Speedway, was running up towards the front, had something happen to the car, some kind of a fuel, something went bad on the car. They still came back, got a top 10 finish out of that at Lucas Oil Speedway. And I remember walking down through the pits, Chase, and I saw Shane and Ryan Timms stand out. I said, "You guys got something going on now, don't you?" And Shane said, "Yeah, we got a driver." And that was at the High Limit races last year at I-70 and Lucas Oil Speedway. What do you recall about those two nights, Chase?
Yeah, I remember they were, closing in 1 month from today would mark the 1-year anniversary of him getting in that car for the first time on October 8th. Brad Sweet, if you guys remember at I-70, I mean, he murdered the field. I mean, he won by a half a track over Ryan Timms, but that was Timms' first time in that car, first time to I-70, and he went out there and performed very well. Then the very next night at Lucas Oil, he probably should have won that race. I mean, he took the lead from Brad Sweet, and he was in the lead under a caution. I think it was a fuel line came off, or something happened to the car, and he had to pull into the pits after leading the race. So we knew immediately, as soon as those guys got together, probably should have won one and ran second in the other one at two tracks where, no experience at all at I-70. Ryan had ran Lucas Oil a few times, but then they go down the very next weekend. A few days later, they go to Texas Motor Speedway. They run top 5 both nights there. A third and a fifth. I believe that was Tim's first time there as well. They go to World Finals. They get 2 top 10s against one of the toughest fields all year over there in Charlotte. So we knew last year that, these guys were definitely something special, but I don't know if anybody would have predicted what they'd be able to put together what they did this year. And what was weird was, they started out the year with High Limit out there on the West Coast. They ran Vegas and Tulare and Paris and Kern County and all those tracks, and they looked very pedestrian. They did not look good at all. Missed a couple of shows out there, and I was like, man, maybe the magic, has faded a little bit here. But it just took them a couple races to get everything figured out, and then they went to, Houston and Knoxville and started clicking off wins and running up front with both the Outlaws and the High Rollers. So, it's just been an incredible run to see what these guys have put together in less than a year of being together.
Chase Rodman joining us on our Mostly Motorsports show from earlier in the week, and you'll hear his voice tonight on Flow Racing's coverage from Lernerville Speedway. $30,000 on the line. Yeah, I saw one of the most weird, strange things I've ever seen watching races last night at home. On Dirt Vision, they carry the weekly races at Jacksonville Speedway in Illinois. And last night they had the MOA Wing Sprint Cars. They had a pretty good field of sprint cars there last night. I think they had 31 cars last night. Bryce Norris ended up winning that race last night. But I want to get your take on this, Scott. See if you've heard anything quite like I'm about ready to play here. Let's the race announcer is calling the race. And it was a pretty wild race. There was a lot of lead changes to the race.
Somebody got upside down.
But somebody gets upside down. I think it was Kevin Newton. Flips the car and was on the front straightaway. They've got the scoring press box and the flagman on the inside of the racetrack.
Right.
At Jacksonville Speedway. I'm not quite
sure. Kind of like State Fair.
Yeah. But the only difference is the flagman is also on the inside of the racetrack at Jacksonville Speedway.
Right.
So here is the race announcer, and I'm not sure what his name is, if he's the series announcer for MOA or the local track announcer at Jacksonville. I'm not quite sure. But here, listen to this call of the race as it's in progress. The A feature last night, the MOA Wing Sprint Cars at Jacksonville Speedway. Let's take a listen to this.
Left car can't make it stick. Something may be broken on this 3 in. He hit the wall. He's slow on the bottom of the track. The race leader is out. New leader, Joey Mohan. Now car upside down. It's Kevin Newton. We're still green. I don't know why. Nobody's throwing a caution. Throw the caution flag. Is anybody paying attention? Hello! We just had a car flip over! Throw the red flag! What are we doing? Come on! What is going on? Pay attention!
Now they throw the yellow right here, not the red, the yellow.
Right. 3 laps, we let the cars go around with a flipped car on the front stretch. What are we doing, guys? Come on! That is ridiculous.
He's pretty adamant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kevin Newton out of the car, and thank God for that. Everybody's attention was on Jake Newman, who was trying to crawl to the infield, and I understand that, but Kevin Newton flipped out of turn 4, and we stayed green for 3 whole laps.
And, of course, the crowd is getting pretty riled up at this point. And you'll hear him say, all right, calm down, folks.
Right.
All right, let's continue to listen to this. This is pretty interesting stuff. Okay, here we go. He's going to say, now calm down, folks. It's got a bad hum in that PA system, too. That was
all right, race fans.
Here we go.
A lot going on. Let's settle down.
Right.
Listen to the crowd behind.
Right.
You hear him getting. You think the announcer played a role?
All riled up.
Yeah. Yeah, the crowd in the background is getting pretty worked up about
it.
Right. And later, okay, I'm going to roll this ahead a little bit.
For the outburst there, everybody was scared and concerned at that time, myself included. This track crew works too damn hard for that sort of beratement. I apologize.
So the announcer apologizes.
Right.
Okay, the race continues on. Bryce Norris ends up the win. Had you heard of anything so strange than that?
No.
What do you think about that, Todd?
That was pretty
intense.
I mean, I understand his frustration. When anybody gets upside down, it's a red flag. Well, I mean, that's just kind of how it is.
Immediate red flag.
And the fact that it wasn't 1 lap, 2 laps, but it was
obviously they didn't see it.
Yeah, well, my thought is, I think that when he flipped, he kind of came down on the inside of that infield, right there on that corner.
Yeah, they just didn't see it,
and he didn't see it. But somebody, obviously, it was the last race of the night, right? So everybody was probably filing out, right? So somebody did not see that normally would have saw it, because you know as well as I do that these guys, that's what they practice for. They train for this stuff. So the fact that they missed that guy flipping and they raced 3 more laps.
Well, the fact they had the flagman on the inside, not the outside like it normally is at racetracks. They couldn't. Apparently, the flagman couldn't see. The people in the tower, which is also on the infield, couldn't see it happen. And I think the announcer was in a different location, because ordinarily, if you're the announcer and you're in the same booth as the scores are, you would just turn your mic off and say, hey, there's a there's a car upside down. You wouldn't go out over the crowd, but he clearly got the crowd pretty riled up in that.
You never did that, did you?
No, never. I would not show up my fellow people like that. I just I I don't know.
Well,
of course, it was a pretty a guy gets upside down. That's a pretty drastic situation. I'll agree with that.
I don't know if you know it, but Kirk was an announcer for how many years, Kirk?
30 years. I announced races on a weekly basis, but I never did anything like that,
right?
Or never have ever seen anything like that before,
right?
So anyway, I thought I'd play that little bit of sound there. It was pretty unusual night. At Jacksonville Speedway.
I mean, I'll give the guy a little bit of credit, or not smash him too hard, because the guy could have been hurt pretty bad.
Absolutely. A guy gets upside down, you just don't know.
And I mean, hell, what if he'd have been, God forbid, on fire or fire breaking out, and nobody's.
So I will take up for the announcer in that instance. He's not worried about how he looks or how he's showing up everybody else. He's only concerned about the safety of that driver at that point. He doesn't care who he's ticking off at that point or who he's riling up in the grandstand. So I will defend him in that way, but that was about as unusual a thing I've seen in all my 50-plus years of watching races.
Yeah, I've never heard that quite like that before. But yeah, he was quite adamant there for. Couldn't figure out what was going on. And I'm sure that was one of the biggest problems he was having is the confusion of why nothing was being done. That was obviously he was.
Well, it's not always the case where the announcer is apart from the scoring people.
Yeah,
in the grandstand,
exactly.
And he was over on the grandstand side, I would assume. And the scores were down on the inside. He had no radio communication with anybody. He just called the races. And he's in the grandstands like any fan would be watching this. And, hey, what's going on? Can't you see it? And so that is the downside of having a scoring tower and especially the flagman on the infield. Now, places like the Chili Bowl and other places, that is a small enough area you can see everything there. But at a track like Jacksonville Speedway, much larger racetrack, and there's all kinds of things in the infield that block your view, I just kind of wonder if they might rethink that. Fortunately, Kevin Newton was not hurt in that accident.
Yeah, he was lucky that nothing serious was
Marie says, well, the announcers had to be the problems getting the riled up.
Well, clearly the way he handled the situation got the crowd riled. You could hear the noise in the background.
Right.
I mean, people were getting pretty worked up about it. And to the point to where I think somebody even ran up to the flag stand in the infield and was pointing finger. I don't know how much they can hear in the infield of the PA, but there was a lot of people getting worked up about that. So interesting. The good part about that is nobody got hurt.
Kelly's checking in from Central Point, Oregon, and
hey,
Scott's checking in from Springfield, Indiana.
Is it Springfield, Indiana, or Springfield, Ohio?
Springfield, Indiana.
Indiana, welcome.
And Larry Waters is checking in from CMS in Warrensburg,
which is the site of the finale for Earl and Susan Walls tonight. We're going to get Alan Miller on the horn here in just a few minutes to talk about that. Big night. They're having a hog roast down there, and the finale for the Walls at Central Missouri Speedway is tonight. And I think you and I probably ought to take a ride down there, see what's going on. I got to watch my Cyclones first. They start at 3, so after 6 we'll take a ride down there and wish the Walls well in their future endeavors.
Alan's gonna call us here back in 3 minutes. He's finishing up what he's doing.
We'll just kind of talk about some of the other stuff that's going on around the country. Some of the other things that we haven't talked about is Brittany Force announced yesterday that she is stepping away from full-time NHRA racing after this year because she wants to start a family. So that was big news yesterday. We've seen that before. Leah Pruitt stepped away to start a family. So Tony Stewart
she just
stepped
announced
into the top fuel car.
Leah just announced she's coming back next year.
And Leah's coming back, and Tony is going to go drive a Pro Stock, is what I'm told, because Elite Motorsports partnered up with Tony Stewart Racing. Elite Motorsports, same team that Erica Enders, 6-time world champion, drives for. And so they have partnered with Tony Stewart Racing. You know what that means? That means Tony Stewart's going to take his hand at a Pro Stock car next year. Leah's going to jump back in the top fuel car that Tony's been filling in for as. Yeah, I think they haven't made that announcement yet, but that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Tony Stewart Racing's not going to field 2 top fuel cars next year. Leah wants her ride back, so she's stepping back in that car, and Tony's going to try his hand at Pro Stock Racing. That's what I think's going to happen.
Yeah, with him signing with Elite, doing a partnership deal, and I agree with Kirk. I think that's probably the next step for Tony, and
but this big news that Brittany Force is stepping away. She's a 2-time world champion in top fuel racing, and the name Force will no longer be out on a regular basis out there because John Force, he was injured last year, but Force Racing is going to be there, but a name Force is not going to be behind the wheel of a car at an NHRA event after this year. So the lady that is the fastest in all of motorsports, she's got the all-time speed record of over 343 miles per hour, a 2-time world champion, Brittany Force, will not be full-time next year. And I just wonder if John Force is going to continue to field a top fuel dragster. I don't know about that. I mean, he didn't field top fuel dragsters in the past until his daughter, Brittany, drove a car. So I don't know if John is going to continue to go top fuel race. We know he'll still have funny cars because he's got Austin Prock, world champion. That's going to continue. Jack Beckman is driving the car that he would be driving. So anyway, that announcement yesterday at Maple Grove Speedway out in Pennsylvania, where the national event is going on this weekend. And I was just checking to see who the top qualifiers are. Clay Milliken is the top qualifier in top fuel after last night, 3.704 at 336 miles an hour. Stephen Hyde leads the funny cars over Austin Prock. And in Pro Stock, it's Dallas Glenn. And in Pro Stock Motorcycle, Gage Herrera. You can follow all that action from Maple Grove Raceway out in Pennsylvania all weekend long on FS1 and Fox Sports Network if you're into the drag racing. Big news there.
Are you into drag racing, Kurt?
I love drag racing. I haven't seen a top fuel car go live down a racetrack since Heartland Park Topeka closed down. What's that been, 2 years now?
Yep.
So I'm hoping that they get a national event out here at Flying H Drag Strip sometime in the future.
You think that they're going to get a national event out there?
I think eventually. I don't think it's going to be next year, but I think eventually. I think they need to get all of the legal issues taken care of out there before that happens. Yeah, don't you think?
Yep.
So I think what's going to happen, they will get the legal issues straightened out, and I believe that Steve Bailey will get the dirt track opened back up. They'll get all of those issues resolved.
Do you think,
along with the legal issues that Chris Payne had with Scott Higgs out here, then they'll move forward and get the infrastructure. I don't think the track itself, the facility itself, is ready to handle a national event quite yet, but I think that's where they're headed.
Do you think the I-70 is going to open back up?
I do. I think eventually it will. When, I don't know, but eventually Chris Payne is going to get on with his life. I think that's what's going to happen. But I don't know how soon that's going to be. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. They mowed the grass out at I-70 and put a couple of cars. Xavier Doney took a couple of turns around that racetrack here a couple of weeks ago to kind of show everybody that, hey, might be mowing back, might be coming back. I think it is. So at least they mowed the grass out there. That was good.
At least they mowed the grass.
Yeah, because it had gotten pretty tall out there with nothing happening. So
Alan Miller's joining us right now.
How you doing, Alan?
Hey, Kirk. How you doing today?
Well, this is kind of a bittersweet day, isn't it? Down at Central Missouri Speedway, we got this is the final days. Earl and Susan Walls are going to be operating the racetrack. What's going on tonight?
Well, it's a big event tonight, Kirk. A lot of planning has gone into the activities that'll happen today. First of all, most importantly, too, we have a big night of racing tonight. There's a $3,000 to win Super Stock special, and then we will also have our weekly classes, of course, with the B mods, the Midwest mod, POWRi Midwest mods, and Pure Stocks as well. And we're going to also honor our top 10 for the events tonight, and that will be included with some awards that will be given out after the races. We want to congratulate our track champions this year, Blaine Ewing in the POWRi Super Stocks, David Doles in the Pure Stocks. Tim Carrick has gone back-to-back. He was our champion last year and also this year. Tim Carrick in the B Modifieds, and then David Wood in the POWRi Midwest Mod. So we're going to honor our top 10 in each of the weekly classes here tonight. It's amazing the amount of information that's come out, and Glyda Yeager is our track statistician, and she has provided just a treasure trove of amazing stats. And I'm just going to throw out a couple of them here to you just as an example. Over 30 seasons of racing with Earl and Susan Walls, as you know, are owners, promoters, 709 scheduled race events, 1,007 feature events, and amazing amounts of numbers that she's really produced for us. Over 2,400 different drivers over this 30 years of racing at Central Missouri Speedway. So a lot of interesting stats, and we're going to throw out a few more of those tonight at the races here tonight that we'll share with the race fans as well.
I think Kirk and I are going to come down there tonight.
Yeah, we'll take a ride down there and check it out tonight. So,
well, that'll be great to see you guys.
So
down
there's
there
barbecue, hog roast going on too. Tell us about that.
You bet. In fact, they started roasting the pig this morning, so to speak. They have John Benning, who is actually a late model driver from the Warrensburg area, has helped us out for many years with that. So over at Pub 13, the barn grill right at the racetrack here after the races, there's going to be a big celebration there. So there'll be some pulled pork sandwiches and some meals as well there tonight. So we're going to have that along with our big celebration with giving out the top 10 in each of the awards in each of the classes. And then we'll have kind of a big party there for Earl and Susan. The Walls family, of course, has been really the whole Walls family. Troy, his son, his grandson, Brandon, his granddaughter, Ashley as well. And just the whole crew has been an integral part of racing at Central Missouri Speedway. It's interesting, and you guys have had a chance to see that. I mean, away from the racetrack, Earl is a little bit different away from the racetrack. I wish some people would have been able to get to know him a little more at the personal level. Had a very, very successful businessman at Paper Products in the Kansas City area there for many years, which actually his son Troy is part of that leadership now that's running that company. But as we had our events, and part of that was when we had our internet shows with you guys, with the Racing Boys.
Yes.
We would get together after those and, go out for dinner and just have a nice time together.
That was a good time, wasn't it? It over at the old Sports Radio 810 building.
That's right. That is right. Yeah, we had a great time over there. Got to interview a lot of interesting drivers. Got to interview a lot of different people and talk about racing. And so that was one of those things that you don't see about Earl. And the other things that you don't see are things that he's done for people on the staff. We would get together as a staff every off season at least once and get together, talk about, hey, what are we going to be doing for next year, scheduling, hey, let's change these particular rules to make things better at the track. And that's one thing that Earl and Susan each year, they have not taken any money out of that track. You know, they have basically taken, if they do make money at the track, they've taken funding and to back into the track to improve the facility, what's going on at the track. For example, this year, even though they're selling that property and that track, plus Pub 13, all the equipment, everything, it's race ready. I mean, somebody could come in, buy that operation, buy the property, Pub 13, and everything's ready to go.
So what's the latest with all of that? Have we still got people interested? What's the latest?
The latest that I've heard, yes. There is another individual interested, and he's been to the racetrack at least 2 or 3 times, met with Earl. They had a big session, kind of toured the facilities, everything that was there. This individual was going to wait until after the season was over to get back with Earl, but he was talking with staff members. Hey, are you going to return this year or next year? If or when I buy this track. So there's definite interest, and I've heard that there may be another interested group as well. So I know that there's at least interest in it. Now, whether something comes through on that, we'll just have to wait and see. But I know that there's definite interest in purchasing, and that's what purchasing the track, and that's really what Earl and Susan would like to happen. They want this track to stay open in the future. I mean, they've given 31 years of their life.
Earl and Susan have been great promoters.
Yes, they have.
Haven't they?
And I know that to be true about what you're saying, Alan. They've told me themselves they want this thing. They want part of the contingency of selling it. They want it to remain a race. They put too much
time and effort,
time and money into that racetrack. They just don't want to sell it to the highest bidder and let it be developed something. They want it to continue as a racetrack, continue the legacy that they built up for so many years. That's what they want, and I think that's what's going to happen eventually. I believe that.
Yeah, we're hopeful. We're very hopeful to see that happen, and we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. Hopefully in this area that will continue, and somebody can come in and really take a race-ready track and situation and have all the equipment, all of the it can go on and on. The radios, the everything that you need to get that track up and running. And I'm sure somebody, if they do purchase it, I'm sure they'll make some improvements and make some changes to it. But hopefully we can still have racing here in the Central Missouri area here on Saturday nights here at Central Missouri Speedway. So we're hoping to make this. This is going to be obviously some mixed feelings for many of us. There are going to be some people that have already said that they're not going to return regardless of what happens with the track. Many people have dedicated many years. Sam Stecklin, as you know, Sam on the mic and I have been at the track now for 21 years. So there'll be some changes.
21 years.
Are you and Sam?
21 years you've been together.
Yeah, that's right. Are you and Sam open to continuing on, depending upon who the new owner is?
I know Sam has made some announcements. He's not going to continue.
Okay.
I'm kind of in a waiting mode to see what's going to happen.
Sure.
I'm open to possibilities of helping out as an announcer again, but
depending upon who buys it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm willing to give it
Absolutely.
at least a try for a year and see
You're
how
open
it
to
goes.
it anyway. You're open to it.
Yeah, I would be open to it.
That's good.
Yeah,
Well,
I would
Alan, you've done such a great job down there. You guys took over for the late, great Tom Wilson back so many years ago. Both you and Sam have done such a great job down there, and it's always fun going to Central Missouri Speedway. The track is ready to go for a new owner. I mean, they don't have to do a whole lot to come in. They got the track equipment. You got everything else. You know what I think? I think it's really suited for a young family to really take this on. Young people to come in and, even if they've not run a racetrack before, would have the passion to do it. Come in. I think this thing has got a lot of possibilities for the future down there. So let's hope that happens, and we'll be staying tuned to all of the news down there. What time's everything get underway tonight?
Yes, we are going to start an hour earlier this evening, and that's really due to the celebration that we want to have after the races as well. We want to have fans. Fans are invited as well. Just a $5 plate charge for the meal afterwards at Pub 13. So it's right. Everything is right there at the racetrack. We're going to start normally we would start hot laps at 7, but tonight we will start hot laps at 6 and racing at 6:30. So that moves the gate times up 1 hour as well. So the pit gates will open at 3:30. Your fans for the grandstands, those grandstands will open at 4 o'clock tonight. So 1 hour earlier. If you're used to coming down to Central Missouri Speedway, we'll get things underway a little bit earlier tonight.
And summer-like weather out there, so it's going to be a great night weather-wise. Thank you for checking in, Alan. We appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tonight. And, again, a big celebration, again, for Earl and Susan Wallace. There's not many places you can go to see where somebody has run an operation like this, a racetrack.
31 years.
31 years. I mean, that's pretty rare.
Was it 94 the first year?
I think that's
93,
correct.
94, somewhere in there. Yeah, that's a long time.
94 through 2025. I think that's correct.
That's a long run.
It is a long run.
Alan, we appreciate it. Take care.
Okay, thanks for giving us a chance to get the information out today.
Absolutely. So there's Alan Miller, one of the longtime voices of Central Missouri Speedway, talking about the final night.
Sam Stecklin and Alan Miller have done a great job down there.
Yeah, and Sam had taken over more of a bigger role in the, as far as the officiating down there. He's working from the infield. You didn't hear Sam's voice on the mic nearly as much in recent years because he took a more role helping, Karen Darling and some of the officials down there. But Alan would be up there all by himself up in the booth up top. The scoring is down from the infield, so... but Alan did a great job announcing races.
You mentioned Tom Wilson.
Yes, sir.
He was a great announcer, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And he has this booming voice.
Booming voice.
Yeah, Tom had a great voice.
Hey.
Of course, he was your partner on the show before I stepped in. So
right.
We miss Tom Wilson, who I think he's been gone for, 20-plus years now. So... yeah, and these guys took over for Tom Wilson back then.
Right.
So, anyway, it'll be a bittersweet night down at CMS tonight. I hope the track can continue on. That's not certain yet, but we're all still hopeful that somebody can step in and
hopefully a
keep
new
it
buyer
going.
will come
Yes,
in
sir.
there and buy that place.
That's what everybody wants to see. I think it's going to happen. But it may not happen as quickly as everybody wants. But I think, I'm predicting that sometime in the off season that we'll hear of somebody stepping in and taking it over and keeping the track going. So what do we want to do next? We want to go more part 2.
Matt Covington, yeah.
Matt Covington. Yeah, Matt's a great guest. You heard a little bit of him in the first hour. We always love having Matt Covington on. He's 1 point behind Blake Hahn for second in the ASCS National Tour point standings. Of course, Sam Haverteeb Jr. is way out in front. He's on his way to his sixth overall championship. Isn't that right? Sam's won 5 already, right, Scott?
Yep.
So it'd be his 6th championship. And there's been quite a battle for second between Blake Hahn and Matt Covington. Those two guys. Oh, by the way, Blake stayed close to home last night, won a race. We'll tell you about that here in a little bit. But first, let's hear more from Matt Covington from earlier this week on Mostly Motorsports. Hey, you got a good starting spot in that second A main. That's based on how you did when you were here in July. How different was the racetrack? I can't remember from July than what it was on Saturday night.
You're not the only one who can't remember. I'm right there with you. Ran too many races. But I will say that the racetrack at Lakeside, the last handful or more than that times I've been there, the racetrack's been phenomenal. And it seems like they've really got a handle on what they're doing. I've been there before 10 years ago and burned a set of tires off in the heat race, and then they would go and work the racetrack, and they would eventually get it right. But it cost me a set of tires before we got there, and that hasn't been the case lately. Lately, it's been the racetrack's been right when we got there, and the racetrack's been good all night. I don't think I honestly, I think maybe we wasted a left rear tire between 2 A features at Lakeside just this weekend, which is great. I mean, that's a testament to them putting the work in to make the track right.
How tough is that when you got 2 features on the same night? You already ran one race, you won that. Oh, we got to go run another race. How difficult was that to get ready for?
Well, I don't know about difficult. What kind of stinked a little bit was I didn't get to ride that high of winning a race all the way to Wichita, Kansas for the next one. It was like you just kind of like, okay, yay, we won, and then we're right back in it because we got to try to win again instead of hopping in the toter, everybody's smiling, and we smile our way all the way to the next race, So then, like that night, we end up running second in the second feature. So the ride to Wichita, you think we'd be all smiles or whatever, but it was like, instead of feeling like a winner all the way to Wichita, I kind of felt like a bridesmaid.
Well, that's why we wanted to have you on today, because we wanted to focus in on your big win and allow you to celebrate a little bit, especially after last night at Eagle. Quickly, Saturday night at 81 Speedway, you qualified well down there. You posted a 6th place finish. Talk about your run there.
We started the night out real strong. We set overall quick time in qualifying. Had the car great. Just got the car too tight, was balled up in the feature. They ran the modifieds, I think it was, before us. And the track had a couple inches of rain the night before. And going in, I'm thinking the track's going to be heavy. It's just going to be locked down all night, super fast. And that wasn't the case. I mean, they got the track sealed over. It got up on the wall by heat race time. Well, when the modifieds went out there in between our dash and the A feature, they kind of cut into the track a little bit and brought a little bit of moisture back through the bottom and through the middle. We were just too balled up. Car couldn't get the right rear to slide, and we fell back. We ended up running second in the dash, started second for the A feature, and fell back to 6th. We were just off by a tick, and that's how competitive it is. I mean, when you're off a little bit, that the other guys that aren't off, they're going to drive by you, and it doesn't take that much. It doesn't take that much to be off, and maybe if the modifieds wanted to open the track up a little bit, and the track would have been like what it was in the dash, maybe we have a good chance to win. And we led some laps early. Just as the track changed, it didn't change in our favor, and then we started to fade back a little bit. But overall, I mean, a first, a second, a sixth, and a seventh, a 4-race weekend. It was a good weekend for us. Made some money that weekend. Closed the point gap up with the 52 car. I think I'm still third and he's second. He's only got 1 point in front of me. So we're gonna have a dogfight to the end of the season to try to secure a second place finish, and Sam's got a little bit of a stretch on us. I think his point gap is 200 points right now. Pretty good cushion, but it's not like it's undoable. I mean, honestly, it's the closest points chase I can ever remember between the top 4 guys with the American Sprint Car Series this year.
And you're going back to
all the years that I've ran it. I mean, I've ran it a lot of years, and things have been really tight this year.
And you're going back to a racetrack that you had success at. Paducah's coming up next, right?
Paducah's coming up next. I don't know what it is about that racetrack, but it, been there 3 times. I've won twice and was leading another time and got a hole in my tire and, ended up giving that one away. Just get ran over something on the racetrack But our speed at Paducah, it seems really good for us. I mean, it's a good racetrack for us to go to. I think our shot's good. I've ran Peebley's going to be Saturday night, I-55 Speedway, and I've never ran a 360 there, but I did run an Outlaw show there and led some laps in the heat race, and then until I bounced it off the fence on the backstretch and lost my tire there. Honestly, I think Peebley's going to be a good track for us in the 360. I think we'll have good speed there. It just seems like a racetrack, the kind of racetrack that we usually run good at, and so we're feeling good about that weekend.
Well, congratulations on the big victory at Lakeside. That was one of the more exciting races we've seen all year. I'm sure it didn't match the angst that you had behind the wheel or in the driver's seat of that car, but it was sure thrilling to watch.
I've been doing it too long, Kirk. It's all you're laser focused. It's just you're just laser focused. It doesn't matter if you're running for the win or running for second to last.
Right.
It's all the same. You just got to keep your composure, keep your focus, and just do the best that you can. That's what you got to do. But we've actually had some great races this year. The series I think is headed the right direction, and we got a good group of guys, good veteran guys with the series, some really good young up and comers with the series. A number of them. The Benson kid, 15 years old, and Ryder LaPlante, Brady Baker, Austin Gossel. There's more than that. There's a good mix between veteran guys, Jason Martin, Sam, Blake, myself, and a lot of young up and comers that I promise you. I mean, I didn't drive a sprint car until I was 19 years old, but if I would have got the opportunity to drive a sprint car when I was 15, 16 years old, these little kids that are coming up here now, they'd be driving circles around me. So I think the future's bright for the series. And we've been putting on really good races all year long, and then had some really good crowds to go along with it. I think everything's going in the right direction, and if somebody hasn't came and watched an American Sprint Car Series race and they get the opportunity to, I think they should take it.
And they said 360 racing was dying. It seems to be alive and well right now.
I don't see it, Kirk.
No.
I don't know. I think it's back on the up and up.
Yeah, it's going good. And, I think this needs to be said, too, and I think this is the misnomer a lot of people have, 410 versus 360. I'm sitting in the grandstands. I can't tell the difference. You guys are going fast just like the 410s do. Can you really tell the difference?
And there's not a ton of speed difference between the 360s and the 410s. I mean, the 360s nowadays are making – 700, 750, probably 750 horsepower nowadays. They're lightning fast. The 410s are lightning fast. The cars handle a little bit different. Some people are going to tell you the racing's better with the 360. And, then there's probably people that are going to tell you the racing's better with the 410. But like you said, Kirk, it's hard to tell the difference. Like I said, if somebody hasn't came and watched an American Sprint Car Series race, I think I think it'd be a good idea for them to do it, and I think once they do it, they'll be hooked. Rarely, if ever, have I heard somebody who came to an ASCS race for the first time and decided that they didn't like it. Usually when I meet a first-timer, they're pumped and they can't wait to come back for the next one.
And I would wholeheartedly agree with Matt Covington about that. I'm sitting in the grandstands last Friday night out at Lakeside Speedway watching those sprint cars go around there. If I didn't know that they were 360 sprint cars, I wouldn't see much difference between them and 410s going around the racetrack.
Right.
I mean, I get it that there is a difference, especially if you're a driver of these cars, you can tell the difference. But
right.
As a fan in the grandstands, I enjoyed that racing out there last week as much as it would be if it were 410 sprints. So that's just me.
ASCS racing is
it was a good
exceptional.
Show it was a great show out there last week, and so we appreciate Matt Covington coming on and talk about it. I thought Blake won last night at Creek County, so I was looking at the my race pass last night, and I saw Blake Hahn at the top of the charts for the X9 chassis champ sprints, but I look at the results right now. He finished second to Kyle Clark. Both those guys started on the front row last night at now these are different cars. This is not 360. This is a matter of fact, Blake was driving a number 11A car last night, not the familiar 52 that we're used to seeing him in. So it's just different form of sprint car racing. But he finished second. Kyle Clark the winner, and they had the URL sprints last night, USL sprints, I'm sorry. Joshua Tyree on the pole wins that at Creek County Speedway. And one other big event that's going on in Oklahoma tonight, Tri-State Speedway, Pacola, Oklahoma is hosting the Red, White, and Blue Nationals for the USMTS. And you know what that pays to win tonight, Scott? $20,000 for a USMTS
That's
modified
a lot of
rig
money.
tonight. You can watch that over on racindirt.com. Tyler Wolf won on Thursday night. Last night, Tanner Mullins was the feature victory. I watched Thursday night, so I didn't see last night. I watched Thursday night. That track's pretty good shape down there. It's pretty good action. So if you want to check that out tonight, do that. So I think that's it. So we out of time? I guess
Yep. Track
that's all
Talk
she
is,
wrote for today.
Track
Okay.
Talk is brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints.
And we will be here on Monday. Guests unknown, but we'll see what happens tonight. And I'm going to probably try to look at getting Joe B. Miller on the show, because he came in as the points leader last night up at Donaldson. He's going to be one of the players down at the Jesse Hocka Daniel McMillan Memorial next weekend. So that, and we'll try to line up a guest or two for Monday.
You can find Racing Boys on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
So, Todd, what do you do on this summer-like day? Hot out today.
Hot out there today. I don't know. Got the kids in town, so probably have dinner tonight and watch a little boob tube and maybe take in the swimming pool. It's a good day to swim.
Right.
That is.
I know that.
Your last chance to go
lucky,
swimming.
You're lucky you got a pool,
Yeah,
Todd.
it's the last. We talked my father and my stepdad into keeping the pool open an extra couple weeks because it's going to be 90s for another few days. So might as well get your swimming in while you can.
Right.
Well, let's hope the weather holds out for another couple of weeks here when we got NASCAR coming into town, and hope that weekend is good.
Yeah, it should be a good week that week. Looking pretty good on the schedule.
Thank you for tuning in. Todd Surprise, great job as always. Scott?
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I guess you and I are going to ride down to we might get down there a little late because I got to watch the Cyclones play. They start at 3. So we may be late arrivals down there tonight. Unless you want to go ahead of me, I can join you down there. We can take separate vehicles if you like. It's not that far.
Right.
So we'll talk about that. So we'll be here on Monday.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. You can find Racing Boys on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well.
And we appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk to you on Monday.
harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.